WHO has said it out. Over 50% of India's population is dealing with mental health issues.
But we are in denial.
Students are coming to us with talking about how they are using hard drugs. Why? Not for recreation. I feel the pressure is so much that the only thing that I can do is use a psychotropic drug that can keep me awake to handle this level of stress. I mean, and we are also seeing, for example, a trend of marriages happening amongst not just Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and like the ones coming after that, they are looking into early marriages now. Because these relationships, a lot of them are happening out of fear of loneliness, fear of isolation.
So it's two extremes, right? Some of them are like, I don't want to get married only.
What is happening here? They are both speaking English, but their languages are different. One is more factually oriented, one is more emotionally oriented. And when they are communicating to each other, even though the English is the common medium, the words are completely meaning different things.
How many people even get asked, are you having suicide thoughts?
After every suicide, when anyone gets in touch with us, one of the most common things that they share is Sachin, if only they had told me before.
I would have said,
If only they had shared that they are having such difficult thoughts.
if only you had asked.
If only you had asked. For those who think that if I ask this question, the other person can get upset, I have another question for you. Do you prefer an upset friend or a dead friend?
I didn't even ask myself.
Right? Please understand that it was not your fault either. You didn't know that there is an alternative way, there is something else that you can do to help. We have never asked this question. We have never been asked this question.
Sometimes the person himself or herself doesn't know. So what are these signs that we can look for and help somebody?
Because our population, we account for 18% of the world's population, but we account for over 26% of the world's suicide. So it's not just that it's because we have a populous country, even our run rate is high. If you need a cricket analogy here. Almost 50% of suicides amongst females is underreported in India. Over 25% of suicides amongst males is underreported in India. Unlike 70,000 people dying by suicide, there is 3-4 transgender deaths. And on-ground reality is so messed up. Over 35% of transgenders attempt suicide. The highest rate of death amongst transgenders is because of suicide. But we are not even counting them. Doing this as a responsible way, not just out of emotional need, but doing it in a rational, emotional way will also ensure that you are not just able to be of help to them today, but in for long term as well.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk. Today's episode is personal, not because I have read about Sachin or I have noticed his work from afar, but because I have had the privilege to attend his trainings. And with all honesty, I can tell you, it's a life-shifting experience. Let me introduce Sachin Chitambaran. With 15 plus years of experience in emotional support, suicide prevention, dot listening, Sachin has trained thousands of people. He is the founder and director of training, the Connect Hut, co-founder and director of training at the Ankahi, which is a suicide prevention helpline, president Befrienders Initiative. Sachin's journey started with Samaritans UK. He is a certified trainer for QPR suicide prevention from USA. This is not just a podcast. It's a simple reminder that sometimes all you need to do is listen. Let's talk with Sachin and understand how can we sit with pain, understand grief and healing, and about suicide prevention. So when you say this Sanidapa, deep listening, so who can be a listener?
Anyone.
Don't I have to have a certain degree or some understanding, or do I have to be in a certain profession?
See, I think academics almost scare me now. Because I'll tell you why. I don't want to be a cynic here. But lately, like even the trainings, anyone who's going for any training or certification I'm seeing a trend where we are more behind that certificate rather than the learning behind that certification. Like most of the things that people need to learn in today's life as life skill, you have most of it available on YouTube and free sources. If you want to learn,
Hmm.
it is available
Yes.
very like freely.
Yeah.
But what you are seeking is a certification,
Hmm. Again, a label, a tag.
right? Because it's not about whether I know how to listen. It's about whether the other person believes I can listen.
Hmm.
It's not about whether I can practice REBT or any therapy modality to the best possible way, but whether the other person believes I can do it.
Hmm.
So if the person already believes, then I don't have to work too hard.
Hmm.
But we fail to see having this type of a mindset can actually cause more harm.
Hmm.
Right? When we are listening to someone and we completely misunderstand them. When the person is like students, we are seeing, I mean, in Mumbai, I am going to colleges to do trainings. We are seeing in most colleges, the students are having to wait around 1 to 2 months before they can meet their counselor.
Yes.
There is a 1 month wait.
For someone who's going through something which is so crucial. It's like, I need this medicine right now, but it's like, okay, wait.
You'll have to wait for a month. Or if one of the students would scream out, I'm going to throw myself out of this window or have a panic attack or something, then someone's appointment would get cancelled
to accommodate
this person. Tell me if you find something wrong in that.
But yeah, I don't know the one who's not screaming. What's the intensity there?
Now, in all of this, who is the counselor? What is their experience? They just passed out 2 years ago from that same college. And now they are handling over 8 to 10 calls, counseling calls every day, with most of them having high suicidal ideation. And we are having these counselors burn out within a few months.
Yes.
Right? So even the setup that is there to help them. Why am I saying this? Because students, for example, right now are especially post-COVID, that they are going through, the world has changed completely. Students are coming to us talking about how they are using hard drugs. Why? Not for recreation. It's so that, Sachin sir, if I had MDMA and because of that, I didn't sleep for 3 nights. I studied for 3 nights straight. And guess what? When I went to write the exam, I remembered everything, sir.
So
I got good marks, sir. So tell me, how is MDMA not helping me? Isn't this a miracle drug rather than something that should be banned?
And I'm going to just use it for my exam.
Only for this, no? Only for exams. Or whenever I face a exam-like stress pressure situation.
Yeah.
Because I do not have faith in my own concentration level. I do not have faith in my retention capacity. I do not have faith in my articulation. But with MDMA, sir, I get all of that. We are seeing an extreme rise in students with schizophrenia, OCD, and other psychiatric disorders.
Yes.
It's on a rise. Like amongst 23-year-olds, this is now the biggest phenomena happening with schizophrenia, OCD, and such other illnesses. Where is this coming from? Right?
Yeah.
So who can help in all of these situations, and
Who can be a listener,
how to be a listener here? Now, instead of just you are not supposed to do MDMA, great advice. But then all you heard was that the person is using MDMA. You completely failed to hear what the person was trying to say. I feel the pressure is so much that the only thing that I can do is use a psychotropic drug that can keep me awake to handle this level of stress. Aren't we hearing this? Then isn't there something else that needs to change? What are we training these students to, go out in the world to do? And I mean, and we are also seeing, for example, a trend of marriages happening amongst not just Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and like the ones coming after that, they are looking into early marriages now. In their 20s, they want to get married. Why? Because there is absolutely no one. My family doesn't care about me. There is nobody outside. So
I need one
I need
anchor,
one person.
one support system.
Yes. Welcome codependency as well. Because these relationships, a lot of them are happening out of fear of loneliness, fear of isolation.
So it's two extremes, right? Some of them are like, I don't want to get married only.
But that I don't want to get married is also now giving way. It's more a millennial issue. I don't want to get married. I mean, again, I'm definitely generalizing here, but there is also the trends that I'm able to perceive on ground, right? And a lot of students are seeking these strong relationships and this faith in my partner is going to come in and we are going to save each other, and it is us against them. It is the ride or die, and any other toxic way you can consider a relationship. You will have all of these things coming in.
So now that you mentioned this, getting married in the 20s, or so interestingly,
Even early
earlier
20s, yeah.
you were conducting dot listening courses in general, and like I said earlier, now you've started conducting this for couples. So again, where does that come from?
Again, communication, right? So if nobody is listening, what happens to communication? So we identified that there were a lot of challenges that people are facing, especially in relationships, and very often that comes down to basic communication.
Doesn't it sound like, okay, in a couple I speak Spanish and you're speaking Chinese?
Right. And the funny thing is, both of you are speaking English.
Yeah, but to me it sounds Chinese.
Sounds like Spanish.
And to you it sounds Spanish.
So let me explain that part a bit, right? So for example, when someone is, now this is a bit theoretical, when me and you are speaking. Now, ideally, when a communication is going on, essentially think of it as a message that is being transferred between the two of us. Imagine a small ball and it is being transferred between them. Now, what does this message, this ball made of? That can be categorized into about 4 types. Right? So you have factual information as to what happened, the story about what may be going through in my life. I will tell you the different meanings and conclusions and judgments I have had about these things that are happening in my life. And while I'm sharing this, I will also share my emotional state that is going up and down while I'm sharing that, like my emotions of anger, disgust, and whatever strong emotional responses that may come up. That is being shared. And I'm also sharing that Sani Dapa. I'm also sharing the feelings.
True. So there's a lot in this one ball.
This one ball has so much information. Now, in the same way, as we are growing up, I told you there are 4 pieces of information that is being shared. We develop preference. As we are growing up, the more interaction that we may have had, for example, with facts, or maybe we had more interaction with meaning, or we had more interaction with the emotional state of the person, we practically train ourselves to pay more attention to these aspects. Okay. Rather than the entire package or ball that the person is sharing with us, we get distracted with these individual components. So what is happening if it's a factual listener speaking to a intuitive listener? For example, someone who pays more attention to an emotional state of a person, or the pain level, intensity of a person, and someone who pays more attention to the words and the factual information. So imagine this scenario. You, 2 people, partners, relationship, whatever, and they are having this conversation where one person is saying, "Oh, I'm so upset right now. Today morning, from morning, things have just been going so bad. The first thing I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I banged my feet on the thing, and then I tried to go and make chai, and the milk was spoiled, so I had to throw away the whole thing. I had to get down, and I had to, on my way down, I saw the watchman. He looked at me funny, so we ended up having a fight, and then going la 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 la. This half an hour, I will share these things with you." Now, if you were a factual listener, they'd be like, wow, that's so many things happened, right? But if you are, for example, an intuitive listener, you would be like, so basically you had a bad day. Like, now how did that sound?
Correct.
For the person who shared all of these things, what were they trying to communicate? Were they trying to communicate, I had a bad day? Or were they trying to help you see all these fluctuations, look at these complications in my life and all the details I'm sharing with you to give you a much more HD version of what my life is, so you can really get the essence of it. But what is the person got the essence? You had a crappy day. Right? Now consider this person's perspective. Oh my God, I spend the whole day working and all of that, and I have to come home and I have to listen to another half an hour.
So I'm adding on top of.
So this person doesn't love me.
It's just venting.
Right? And the other person is thinking, I shared so much, and this person heard is, you had a crappy day. This person doesn't love me. What is happening here? They're both speaking English, but their languages are different. One is more factually oriented, one is more emotionally oriented. And when they are communicating to each other, even though the English is the common medium, the words are completely meaning different things. The point of our listening training is for us to first and foremost understand these are the areas that my attention goes to more.
So
then,
what kind of a listener am I?
Yes. So being able to see which are, again, not what type of a listener am I, then understanding what skills have I spent more time building.
Correct.
I have built a skill where my attention is more on what happened.
Tell me more.
Tell me
What's
more.
the story?
Kaun the?
What's the story?
Yeah. Instead of this, I need to understand there is also another way of listening, which is more pain focused. I can also understand that there is a critical listening style as well. I can also understand there is a supportive listening style as well. When all these, there are skills that I can build in multiple manner. What that does for me is I do not have to get stuck with, it's like I am a tailor but who only knows to use scissor. Then I will use the scissor everywhere.
So you need to know to use all your tools.
I need to know how to use the needle. I need to know how to use the scissor. I need to know how to use the thread. And all of these have different properties, right? So as long as I'm able to train myself in each of these aspects, no matter what or where the person is coming from or what language they are using, I am still able to understand what they are trying to communicate to me. And that is the basic need or requirement of communication. Is essentially what we are saying is communication is for you. When you are transferring a message, it should reach them with minimal distortion.
Not like the Chinese whisper.
Not like the Chinese whisper that we are actually
something
playing.
And we end up with something
Right.
completely
And
different.
you don't even need 10 people to do that. Just between two people you will have this. Right? So as long as you are able to identify this, then you will align yourself to be, wait, let the person show what they want to share, how they are sharing, and what is it that they are trying to tell me when they are saying these things. And as a listener, that is your only job.
So take that pause, be present.
Just be present and listen. Okay, instead of when that question pops up in your head, what do I need to say or what can I say? As soon as you hear that in your head, replace it with, what was the person saying? What did the person try to tell me right now?
Yeah.
And I assure you, it will be much more helpful. Where you are, isn't it gonna make me sound dumb if I'm gonna? The person said that I don't feel like living anymore. So Sachin, I understood that this person is probably suicidal. Isn't it dumb if I ask the person, do you mean to say you are suicidal? Isn't it dumb? Isn't it obvious? No, it is not.
And like you were just mentioning, how many people even get asked, are you having suicide thoughts? We don't.
And this is what we were sharing earlier as well. See, after every suicide, when anyone gets in touch with us or they're talking to us, they're sharing, one of the most common things that they share is, Sachin, if only they had told me before.
I would have saved.
If only they had shared that they are having such difficult thoughts, I would have done whatever I could. I would have saved this person's life.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the thing that remains is,
If only you had asked.
If only you had asked. Now, this, again, when I say this, this is not to add guilt. I mean, understand that suicide is such a misunderstood concept. You did not have an information before you have come across this video or any trainings that we have undertaken. Please understand that it was not your fault either. You didn't know
Yeah.
that there is an alternative way. There is something else that you can do to help. So again, to use this as a skill set learning rather than, oh, look at me, I was so bad. That's not the point. Understanding that if you are looking to save a life, if that is of interest to you, if you are trying to be of help to someone with suicidal thoughts, you cannot do that without the first step, which is ask the question.
So here again you give this amazing analogy about hunger. Can you share that? If I ask, or will that happen?
So I end up using that analogy very often. Why? Because people tell me that Sachin, and we should ask this, and I make the question really bad as well. Like, if I ask someone about suicidal thoughts or if they have been having suicidal thoughts, will it not make them suicidal? Can it not plant the idea? And also it can probably upset them. Sachin, I thought definitely can imagine if I ask this question, the person is going to be like, do you think I'm weak? How dare you say this? Like, this is what you have heard in your head. I want to ask you directly, if you thought this right now, first question, how many people have you ever asked?
Now I have after the training.
After the training,
Especially
yes.
in my
But this is
profession. Earlier?
Yes.
No.
No.
I didn't even ask myself.
Right? We have never asked this question. We have never been asked this question. But somehow I know exactly how the other person is going to react when I ask this question. This is what assumptions are made of. Right? I'll tell you about myself. I've asked my own mother. I've asked my friends. I've asked complete strangers if they have been having suicidal thoughts. Not once. Not once has anyone. I've asked over thousands of people, Rashmi. Thousands of people. I've asked. If I've seen a sign, I have asked.
Coming to this, when I see a sign, so can you tell us what could this sign be? Because like you mentioned earlier, many a times people say, I wish I knew I would have saved this person's life. Sometimes the person himself or herself doesn't know. So what are these signs that we can look for and help somebody?
Right. So we will definitely cover this point as well. So there's quite a few things that is opened up in front of us. So there is the one part where will it cause an ideation?
Yes.
Like if I ask the question, will it cause an idea? And then we have also got to see if someone is going through this, what will it look like? So first and foremost, to just address the part, like if you ask, this is a safe question, first off. Are you having suicidal thoughts? What do you mean this is safe? Understand this. If I were to ask someone, are you hungry right now? Will that question make them hungry?
No.
Right? Think about this.
If I'm hungry, I am hungry.
Right.
If I'm not,
the gun example you use, either it is loaded or not.
Yes.
If I press the trigger, if it is loaded, it will shoot. If it's
Yes.
not loaded, nothing.
Yeah.
Right? The same way. If I ask a person, are you feeling hungry? This doesn't get the person like, I wasn't hungry so far, but now that you've said it, I feel
Let me
gulu
think.
gulu in my tummy.
Yeah.
No, that's not what is happening.
And there is almost an immediate answer to this, right? Like
No,
we
no,
don't
no.
sit to process like, am I not? There's an instant answer. Yes, I am.
Why? Because
or no.
he got trained, na? कि आप mothers, fathers have trained us. किसी के घर में जाके नहीं मांगते. खाना नहीं पूछते. Right? So imagine something as basic as hunger, we don't feel comfortable sharing with any of our people.
How can you?
Would you go to
Your
anyone's
relative will think, your parents don't feed you.
But hunger is such a basic human thing and
Yes.
we still avoid that. Now, if I'm having suicidal thoughts, how comfortable am I sharing that? I'm not able to disclose I'm hungry. How do I tell people around in my world, by the way, I've been having thoughts of killing myself. I don't understand it. I don't know what needs to be done about it. I don't even know how to stop it. I don't know how I started it.
It's freaking scary.
But it is scary. It's like I'm carrying a, ghost with me.
Yeah.
And how do I get help, right? I can't even begin this conversation. Articulation dur ki baat. Right? But now imagine so what is it that you can do? If you ask the question, like I said, this does not make a person get an idea. The person doesn't go like, oh, I wasn't thinking about it, but तुमने बोला है तो बहुत idea आ गया. Is not what happens. If a person who's not experiencing suicidal thoughts, you ask them, it's like, no, तुमको है क्या? It's just that. For those who think that if I ask this question, the other person can get upset, I have another question for you. Do you prefer an upset friend or a dead friend?
Yeah.
I assure you it's not going to be upsetting for them as well. Still, I'm asking you, would you prefer an upset friend or a dead friend?
But
Because this
isn't
is the
that
fear.
a sign?
What?
If your friend is really getting upset or angry.
See, it doesn't even matter. We can't even reach that space. You haven't even asked the question. You haven't even seen the person upset.
Yes. It's all here.
Yeah, there you go. You haven't
head.
even asked this question yet. Right? You haven't even asked this question yet, but already in your head, the person is upset.
Yeah.
And then what is going to happen? Oh, because I upset him, they may do suicide.
Also, like I shared earlier, with the intake form that we have, so people, for a layman, for a normal person, if I ask and the person says yes, okay, now there is a live ticking bomb. It's going to blast anytime, and I am responsible because I asked this.
Yes. Now, our major problem is what we fail to see is a person dealing with suicidal thoughts. If you understand suicide, you will also know that for most of the people, experiencing suicidal thoughts itself is traumatic.
Yes. I totally agree.
When you understand that death is not something that people wish upon themselves. That
we are constantly avoiding death, right? When we cross the road, we look. It's like an automated system.
That is why a lot of us are so confused when it comes to suicide, right? Because what we think is, why is this person wanting to kill himself? And this is where majority of our issue is coming in. The person is not wanting to kill himself. This is a very mythical understanding of suicide. A person with suicidal ideation is not wishing upon death. What they are experiencing are intrusive thoughts, where their mind is experiencing, like I mentioned earlier, high degree of pain, and the mind is stating out, when I'm in such a high degree of pain, this is how the brain or mind shouts out, it's broken, need help. Urgent. How do I get the attention? Go die. Right? And when someone is saying that they are in the red zone, what they need is compassion, not distraction. Right? So asking the question, this becomes the first priority. And when you ask the question, you do not plant an idea. In fact, the opposite has been discovered in research. There is over 60 years worth of research. You can simply Google these things. They are freely available on the internet. Instead of just trying to find out more about Sushant Singh's suicide or the techie suicide, can you do some research on just suicide? The information is freely available. And you will be surprised to see that when you ask the question, instead of causing them to have an idea or making them upset, it has an opposite reaction. What it does is, for the first time, they are able to talk about these difficult thoughts. What being able to talk about suicide and the suicidal thoughts and what is paining and hurting them, it's for the first time they are talking through these difficult emotions. This helps in release of the pain that they are building up. This helps prevent suicide.
Asking that question.
Asking the question. And I'll tell you right now also one more thing. Your fear was not that what if I plant the idea, or what if the person gets upset?
No, the fear was, what if this person says yes?
What if the person says?
Now what am I supposed to do?
Exactly.
Like I said, now I have a live ticking bomb.
Yes.
Now I don't know what to do.
Yes. So these are difficult acknowledgements that we need to make to ourselves. It wasn't that I am I think that I will plant the idea. What I'm actually concerned is if I ask you the question and if you say yes, I don't know what to do. Right? But then we have also discussed how, for example, if your friend were to come home and you looked at your friend and they look kind of tired and famished, would you ask them the question, hey, are you hungry?
Maybe I'll just offer food.
You'll offer food, right?
If I know and if I can see it.
Yeah, you will just ask them, hey, you're hungry? Do you want to sit down?
Yeah.
Now, when you ask this question, Rashmi, will it make them hungry?
No.
No. They still have the choice to say no. Right? Now, think about it. What if you didn't ask this question? What are the chances of the person by themselves telling you this?
Very low.
Very low. People find it difficult to even express their hunger. How easy is it for them to open, just out of the blue, tell you about my suicidal thoughts? Right? But now consider this. When you asked the person, hey, you're hungry, right? Can I put some food over? And the person said, yes, I am hungry. Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
Good.
You sure?
Yeah.
Right? It's a good thing. Why would you say it's a good thing?
Because now I know.
And you can feed him.
I can do something about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Now imagine this. When I asked the question, have you been having suicidal thoughts? And the person said, yes. Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Good.
It's a good thing.
Because now I know it. So either...
Now I may be able to do something about it.
Or at least get them help. If I can't, at least find someone who
And
can.
what does help look like in this? First was you asking the question. Second is just holding the space. Listen to them. Let them talk through these things. Usually when a person has just shared about their suicidal thoughts, very often you will see it is like it was a dam that got opened.
Yes.
And you will have a lot of things that the person will share. And very often you will find when a dam gets opened, right, at first a lot of slurry and a lot of bad shit can come out.
So when I said it out loud at my counselor, all I did was cry for 45 minutes.
There you go.
And all my husband could do was sit there and watch and maybe think, when did this happen?
Kitna bura husband hu
How
yaar.
did this happen? Why did this happen? How did I not know? I was with you 24/7. But it's nobody's fault. It's again that guilt also. Like, if I say it, my family or friends will feel some of it is their fault. It's not your fault.
Right.
It's just how things have been.
Right. Right. And this is how I have to understand that, okay, to again make it, if I break my hand, it's not my family's fault. If I have suicidal thoughts, it's nobody's fault either.
Yeah.
Is it my fault also? No. Your hand is broken. Why would I consider blaming something or someone? What is this constant need to find a source?
So this whole stigma and taboo is probably because of this blame.
Yes.
The guilt, the blame, all these are what
Yeah,
are
but
playing here.
think about this, right? When we have understood that suicidal thoughts are not ever caused because of one thing. It's never a result of a breakup or any such thing, which unfortunately, this is what media propagates. That why did the suicide happen? Because the person had a fight, because they lost a job, because their Instagram got hacked. One thing or the other.
It's never that one
Never.
thing.
A human being is never impacted just by one thing.
Yeah, true.
Right? So as soon as if we are able to objectively understand this, then I am able to see that when the person is saying I'm having suicidal thoughts, this is not unhelpful. In fact, opposite. It is extremely helpful that the person is able to talk about these thoughts that they are experiencing.
So like I said, just saying that out loud and just crying for 1 hour felt like a release.
Now, for some other person, this will be, they said it, and then they are also talking about how they have cheated on their wife. They are also talking about how they have had bad thoughts about their own mother, to all these things, against the sludge and the slurry, all the things that I am not comfortable. A lot of those things may start coming out. I want to kill that bitch. Yeah, all these things are coming out. But if you're able to hold that space, because this is that slurry, right? Imagine if someone has food poisoning, if I had food poisoning and I suddenly start throwing up all over here, right? I know it won't be ideal, but if you actually care for me, would you stop me so much, or would you be like, oh, it's vomit, it's okay. It's poison, right? It's coming out. That's good. One of you will go and get some warm water for me because Sachin, you seem like you need help. How many of you would be like, chi, ganda, dirty? Because this is what we may do. When a person starts sharing, a lot of these ethical, moral issues may come out.
Yeah.
What we are asking you to be, when you have to be a non-judgmental listener, allow the person to just share without trying to correct them, without trying to advise them, fix them or anything. Let that come out. In fact, more it comes out. Ask for more. Let it come out. Do not start aligning yourself with, oh, what if I had cheated on my wife? What if I had done this? Instead of trying to create your
That
own
parallel thought process.
Yes. Rather than that, just focus on the person. They have shared this. They have shared this. Let them voice out more. Very soon you will hear this sound.
That sigh of
What was that, right?
relief.
That's the man halka hona. That is the air escaping the balloon. It's that pressure releasing. It's that pressure cooker going. Has it fixed the person's life? No, obviously not. But has it made some space inside them?
Yes.
That is what we aim for.
So, Sachin, we've been talking about suicide since a while now. How bad is the situation?
So, the biggest problem with suicides are the lack of tracking that is happening in the first place. For example, over the past 10 years, worldwide, the number of suicides as per WHO has not changed. In the past 10 years, it has been showing 7 to 8 lakhs. It has been that number itself. But we have seen just in a country level, we have been having an increase in terms of almost sometimes even 11% jump on year.
11%
Sometimes,
jump.
yes. And we are looking at how are we still saying that the world number of suicide is actually remaining constant. But forget the world for now. If you just look at India, to understand how prevalent it is, see, in India, we have made peace with the fact that there are a lot of road accidents that will happen and that a lot of deaths happen. Now, in India, we track suicide and death, accidental deaths. And this is tracked by an organization called NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau. And the latest report that we have is from 2022, 3 years back.
Okay.
As per the report, in 2020, the report is of 2022. As per that report, we lost over 170,000 people to road accidents in that 1 year. Now, this is an astonishing big number for a country to lose. That year, we lost the same number of people to suicide. 170,000 people we lost to suicide. Now, okay, maybe this number may not reflect, it'll be like, yeah, different people, different pain, lots of pain going on, blah, blah, blah.
But also, this is the reported number.
This is the
How
reported
many
number.
people reported?
Let's break this down further. Now, consider this. For 170,000 people to die by road accidents, if I ask you, how many people do you think would have had an accident?
Yeah, way more than the
Common
number of
sense,
deaths.
right?
Yes.
Like when we are understanding that, okay, for 170,000 people to die by road accident, obviously more road accidents would have happened. Now, if you were to guess, how many would that be?
Double?
No, it's around 450,000.
Oh.
There were 450,000 road accidents happening. And because of that, we had 170,000 people lose their lives. Fair? Now, if I ask the same question, if 170,000 people had to die by suicide, how many people would have attempted suicide that year? Now, and let's probably get in Avanti here as well, because you may have heard me. So, Avanti, what do you think is that number? How many people would need to attempt suicide for 170,000 people to die? What would you say a number would be?
Maybe 3 times more.
Wrong. bit further.
10 times. That's
A bit more. Now, do you see what I mean here? The challenge is we have been trained to ride a bike and drive a car. Still, we cause that accident. How many of us has received a training to die?
Nobody.
Nobody. Right? We haven't received the training to die. So, what does that mean? For someone to die by suicide,
The number of attempts
is actually even more. And if I have to give you a ratio, it is for every suicide death, there is 10 to 25 attempts. Almost 25 attempts. Now, I'm not meaning that a person makes 25 attempts to die. What I mean to say, in the past 1 hour, if 100 people attempted or 100 people died, that means 2,500 people approximately attempted a suicide there. Right? So then, if 1,70,000 people died by suicide, Avanti, find X. How many people would have attempted suicide that year? I'll do the math for you. 42 lakh. It's math. You may find what? Is 25 times 1,70,000? Yes, 42 lakh.
Though I heard you.
That is 4.2 million. Yes. It's giving you goosebumps.
Yeah,
right?
though I've heard these numbers from
Right.
you earlier, but it's
42 lakh is almost 10 times the number of road accidents. I told you guys 4,50,000 road accidents happened. 42 lakh attempts have to happen. And now the story doesn't end here. Does everyone who has a car will have a road accident? No. So my question is, will everyone who has suicidal thoughts, will they attempt?
No.
Then how many people will have to have suicidal ideation for 42 lakh people to attempt? Any guesses? How about times 20? Times 20. What is that number? 8.4 crore.
ideation. Just
8.4 crore people will have to have suicidal thoughts. That is when 42 lakh people will make an attempt. That is when 1,70,000 people will succumb to it. But consider this. How many people will need to have mental health issues for 8.4 crore people to ideate suicide? And now you will reach a number which has been shared by WHO. WHO has said it out. Over 50% of India's population is dealing with mental health issues.
But we are in denial. Complete denial.
Because what a silly statement to make, right? But do the math. The math is mathing. We are not.
Yeah.
Right? And consider this, 2021, the year we lost the most number of people to COVID. That year we lost 1,41,000 people to COVID. 1,41,000 people died because of COVID. And what did we do as a response?
Pandemic.
Complete
shutdown.
We completely shut down the whole country, place, housing, society, everything we shut down. We gave them masks, we gave vaccinations out. That year, where 1,41,000 people died by COVID, that year we lost 1,53,000 people to suicide. And what have we done for suicide? In fact, because some people say, oh, Sachin, because India is the most populous country, so obviously we'll have the highest number of... Yes, by the way, that also is the... India is in fact the suicide capital of the world. Imagine the year in which we lost 7 lakh people to suicide worldwide. We had 1,70,000 dying in India itself. 1/3 of female suicides in the world are by Indians. What am I trying to share here? And in fact, it's not that we have a highest population and that's why we have such a high number. Because our population, we account for 18% of the world's population. But we account for over 26% of the world's suicide. So it's not just that it's because we have a populous country. Even our run rate is high. if you need a cricket analogy here. Hamara strike rate bhi badhiya hai. So, what is this causing? Uh, Instead of actually working on suicide prevention and coming up with the strategy and the action plan to kind of get it done, what we are stuck with is oh, these are challenges that people do, and people are killing themselves because they want to die, they feel like dying, and they can't take it anymore, they are weak. And as long as we have this stigmatized conversation around suicide, we are not able to actually help people. For example, it took us till 2017 to decriminalize suicide. What does that mean? Imagine the moment when you were dealing with COVID. We had almost criminalized COVID, hadn't we? Did we share outside that, oh, I had COVID? We wouldn't even go and buy paracetamol, fearing our neighbors will not. What was the fear? We had criminalized COVID. Because if I have COVID, people will take me out.
I'll be isolated.
Imagine how is a person who's going, if suicide is criminalized, if I am having suicidal thoughts, tell me, how do I ask for help? Because suicide is a criminal offense. Who do I ask for help? I can't even do this. Right? India has lost over 1 lakh people to suicide. Wait for it. Since 2008. Every year, we have lost over 100,000 people to suicide. We lost 1,41,000 people 1 year to COVID. We declared a pandemic. We have been losing over 1 lakh people to suicide every year since 2008. And all these numbers I gave you were wrong. What do I mean? Did India lose 1,70,000 people to suicide? No.
That was a number reported.
That was the reported number. In fact, research by NIMHANS has shown that almost 50% of suicides amongst females is underreported in India. Over 25% of suicides amongst males is underreported in India. Transgenders are not even counted
in that report.
No, they are counted. But you know how many if you look at the report, out of 1,41,000 people dying by suicide, or 1,70,000 people dying by suicide, there is 3-4 transgender deaths. And on-ground reality is so messed up. Over 35% of transgenders attempt suicide. I'm not saying they have suicidal thoughts. Over 35% of transgenders, please hear it again, they attempt suicide. It is the highest rate of death amongst transgenders is because of suicide. But we are not even counting them. So what are our numbers based on? Do you see the challenge here now? That means, in fact, in India, currently, we are losing over 250,000 to 3 lakh people annually to suicide. Now, if you have the guts, do that earlier math I made you do. Go find X. It's scary. I'm sometimes laughing out of that. It's so scary that it's funny. And we are so oblivious. So ignorance is bliss. Everyone is just blissful right now. But we would rather not talk about it. We would rather hide it behind anything and everything. And the challenge is, Rashmi, why do we need to talk about this more openly? I'm not talking about the media style conversation. Kisne kiya, who killed him, why did he kill, and the story and the gossip. Yeah. This is not what I mean. When I say having an open conversation is when am I able to tell my wife, this is what I'm dealing with right now. I'm having suicidal thoughts and I don't know what to do. And my wife, if she's able to hear me out knowing that when I'm having suicidal thoughts, it's my pain that is causing it, not my wife and her lack of love or lack of affection that is causing it. Instead of her taking offense to it, is she able to help me? Is she able to be that partner with me? And knowing that there is nothing that she can do to take these thoughts away from me. That is the helplessness that even the partners are going through, right? There is absolutely nothing I can say, do that will take away these painful thoughts from my partner. So coming back to that thing, why should we? Because it's not a matter of if you have met someone with suicidal thoughts. WHO says 1 out of 5 people will experience suicidal thoughts at some point of time in their life. India is the suicide capital. For India, that rate is 2 or 3 out of 5 people will experience suicidal thoughts. Now, each one of you here already have at least 20 people in your life that you care about.
Yes.
Would you say that? Right? That ratio exists for them too. What do I mean? That 2 or 3 out of 5, out of that 20 people that you care so deeply about, what we are seeing is at least 6, 7 of them would have had suicidal thoughts at some point of time. Maybe that someone is also you. So why is this conversation important? Because if you are interested in the well-being of the people in your life, these are things you need to be aware of. This is not something that is only afflicting the poor or the rich. It's not something, suicide is not something that is afflicting the dumb ones. My son is too smart. He will never do this.
Or strong.
Such a silly thing to say. My son is so strong. He will never break his arm. Would you say that? No, you won't. So again, this very rudimentary understanding of mental health, very rudimentary and almost anxiety-driven understanding of suicide is actually affecting even the mental health professionals, because over 95% of mental health, over 90% of mental health professionals in India are having clients with suicidal ideation.
Yes.
Over 95% of them do not have any formal training in suicide. How are they handling these clients? Isn't this bothering anyone? So there are some very, very fundamental questions that we are facing. The point is, and to address one more myth that comes out of this, Sachin, do I not need to be an expert to prevent suicide? Only experts can prevent suicide. And I have a very heartwarming story here. Like when I was with Samaritans UK, among our circles, there used to be the story that used to get propagated quite a lot. It was about this old man. This not a war veteran or something. This really old man. How he used to live close by to this suicide hotspot, a bridge. Right? I would like to talk about that suicide hotspot as well, but there was a bridge around where he lived that people used to jump off. And so what this guy did, whenever he had some free time, he would walk along that bridge. And whenever he came across someone who looked disturbed, looked perturbed, who looked like they may do something, he would reach out to them. He would reach out and offer them a cup of tea. He would be like, hey, would you, I know you look really bothered. Would you mind having a cup of tea with me? He's not built to jump and protect or anything like that. He would ask them. He would go with them to the nearest tea shop. Over a pot of tea, he would help the other person share anything and everything that has been bothering them. He had even taken some of those people home, because some of them would be homeless. So he would take them home, make them stay there for a few days till they are able to come out and, start taking care of themselves. He would offer his own place. Imagine the time bomb he's taking home. Right? And doing this one tea at a time, he saved over 1,000 lives.
Wow.
Over 1,000 lives he saved. Just this offering tea and listening to them. Now tell me, what was the expertise of this person? Right?
Like you said earlier.
Even the tea that he offered, he didn't make it. So it wasn't even this magical tea that is saving lives. What was it that he had? Or what skill that he learned? Because many times people also tell me, right, Sachin, oh, you ask people about suicidal question because you're an expert in this. So what do you think expert in this means? I have special sequence of words that I use that would take people out of suicidal thoughts. I'm like, Om Suicidai Namaha, and suddenly the person is like, oh, no suicide. What do you think is happening? The expertise that the old man had was called humanity. Just that. It's connection that saves lives. It's not your solution. It's not your advice. It's not the positive, hopeful things that, the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah. It's going to get over. It's going to get better.
It's you're only screaming out your privilege.
Yeah, you've been strong. You've gone through so much.
I have
This
been
is
through the
nothing.
Sachin, and there is always light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, sometimes it's a train.
Yeah.
What has been the bright sun for you, for someone else, it may be the train. So we have to really be mindful about these quick fixes. I'm completely fine if the other person is in a green zone or a yellow zone, like in terms of the mental health continuum. If a person is in the green zone, yellow zone, where the challenges that they're facing has not been that bad for them, difficult for them, in this phase, your distraction, validation, and all of these methods, fine, helps. Suppression even. But when you're talking about the orange zone or the red zone, these are not things that help. The only thing that helps is connection. Connection happens through listening. Right? So the myth, there is absolutely no expertise. If it bothers you, what you can get is there are trainings available. There are short packages of trainings available as well. When I say short packages, this is purely to get you to grips with what am I supposed to do? What do these steps look like?
Yeah.
There are trainings available. They are not that taxing. In fact, you will be surprised how helpful they are.
Yes.
So being a suicide gatekeeper is one of the most essential life skills one can have right now in this day and age. So please join these courses. There are these, and again, maybe not more than one day it will take for you to get this skill. Once you have it, practice it, and there you go. And then you won't have to worry about, my friend's father calling in out of the blue and I don't know what to do. I'm just freaking out. But if I know that, hey, just because my friend has suicidal thought doesn't mean he's a time bomb. Let me connect with him.
Yes.
Let me show him my support and love. And very often it's this love, this compassion that leads to hope. It's not that you can give hope to someone. Unfortunately, we think that, right? When a person is hopeless, we give them hope.
Yeah.
But hope is not a commodity that you can share with someone. It is something that
comes from within that person.
Yeah. And how does that come? When the person realizes, I am not alone.
Yeah. Thank you, Sachin. This was wonderful. I really didn't realize the time that we spent talking. We can go on and on about this, but more power to you. Please keep doing these trainings and these sessions. And like you said, it's for everybody. As long as you're a human and you can connect with somebody. And I always say this training is for everybody. I hope you start doing this in schools as well, for the teachers, for the people who are taking care of these children. Because at that point, if we are training them not to suppress pain, imagine how things can.
You have just brought up a very controversial topic because all deals are off when it suddenly becomes about children. Because everything that I shared right now, that you should ask the question. Now, Sachin, if it is about children, how can we do that? I know adults will not have suicidal thoughts. Okay, fine, I will believe you. But kids, aren't they impressionable? If I ask them about suicide, will it not plant an idea in the little kid's mind? No.
No, at least to begin with, teaching the teachers and the parents to at least start listening.
Right. And understanding that that this is not just a problem of quota and IIT.
Yeah.
India lost over 13,000 children to suicide. That year when we lost 170,000 people. Out of them, 13,000 were below 18 years of age. India, student suicide is not a quota issue or a IIT issue. India is quota. We have children. We look at the news. Around 50 students died by suicide in quota. And we have hyped up the place like nobody's business. What about the 12,950 other children? That is not happening in that place. It is happening in Bhandup, in Andheri, in all these places.
I also remember you sharing that if it is a school that calls you, then there is a request Can you not use the word suicide but do
Oh, it's
the
not just a
training?
school thing.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Don't use the
Please
word
come and
suicide.
conduct a training on suicide prevention without using the word suicide.
Look at the irony of this.
Because they know already that using the word is the problem. Can you imagine 1,70,000 people died by suicide? How many people do you think in their life asked them this question? Do we think that 1,70,000 people killed themselves because someone was asking them the question, hey, are you suicidal? Oh no, this person asked me the question, now I should kill myself. What are we thinking?
Yeah.
Right? Until and unless we are able to really face our fears and see how absurd it is. Maybe this is the time I need to quote Patanjali, like Yoga Sutra Patanjali. I'm not talking about Baba Ramdev here, but Yoga Sutra Patanjali, what is he saying? The cause of suffering is avidya. दुखों का कारण है अविद्या or wrong knowledge. Then how do we tackle this? Get the right knowledge.
Get enlightened.
Get the right knowledge and practice. These are two things.
Yeah.
Get the right knowledge, but knowledge alone will not set you free.
Yeah.
You have to practice.
Correct.
So 20 years ago, we never said, AIDS mat bolo. We used to say, na, AIDS mat bolo, ho jayega. Don't say AIDS. You will get it. Don't say cancer. You will get it. 4 years ago, we are like, don't say corona. You will get it. Is that how you got corona? Or AIDS or cancer? No. Today, if you ask a 4-year-old or tell a 4-year-old uncle's got cancer, he's not going to get scared. You know what his reply will be? 4th stage hai kya?
Now even kids know what stage.
4th stage hai kya? How far has that journey and that right knowledge come? That earlier when someone used to get diagnosed with cancer or AIDS, very often they would die the next day by suicide. Today, AIDS helplines are shutting down across India. Why? Suicides from AIDS is almost a thing of the past now. Because there are people with AIDS are able to live a fulfilling life now. Their symptoms are manageable. With corona, how many of us are wearing a mask right now? Corona is not out of the air even now. There is corona in the air. How many of us are wearing the mask? But are we scared, walking around worried with anxiety? No. Why? We have the right knowledge. Same thing about suicide. Get the right knowledge. It will not be an anxiety-provoking thing for me or you. But as long as your information is coming from media, from Bollywood, from Hollywood, or any other wood, please understand that educating you was not their agenda. Getting an emotional reaction out of you pays their bills. All they are serving you is this. In Hindi, I say जहरीला च्युइंगम दे रहे हैं और आप चबाए जा रहे हो. आपके न्यूज में अगर हर शाम को ये बोला जा रहा है, देखो कैसे मारा है इन्होंने खुद को, एंड देखो क्या हो रहा है, एंड इफ यू आर क्रिएटिंग दिस हवा, दिस प्रेशर पॉइंट एंड दिस सेंसेशनल ग्लैमराइज्ड वर्जन ऑफ सुसाइड, एंड हाउ व्हेन यू गो थ्रू दिस पेन that means you are deserving to die. When we had the movie एक दूजे के लिए, right? The movie, they didn't give the full name. The full name was supposed to be एक दूजे के लिए मर सकते हैं. They didn't complete it. एक दूजे के लिए what? You can die. Why? Because that year, after एक दूजे के लिए released, over 47 couples jumped from the cliff. It created a suicide contagion. Why? The message was, if your love is unrequited, if you are not, Rahul and Priya, you are not able to get together, what can you do? Jump from here. You'll become Romeo Juliet. You see the glamorization Kaju Katli that we are offering people?
Yeah.
So Bollywood doesn't care about whether you are getting the right information about suicide. The movie was a super hit. That mattered. Right? So same way for news channels, when they are doing this sensational reporting of suicide for 7 months every evening at 9 p.m. They are making about 5 crores per a 10-second ad. That is how your misinformation, it has a value. and someone is making money from giving you that exact bad information. Because there is no glamour, sensationalizing, or emotional outrage that happens when you talk about suicide, right? This person died by suicide, and you do not share how, why, when, and that entire drama,
Story.
melodrama that is around. You remove that, then suddenly suicide is something that is not a triggering conversation. Can be spoken about. When I was sharing as to why it is so important to talk about suicide, right? I know the statistics and everything may have become very scary as well, or very overwhelming.
Yeah.
But there is some good news too. First, over 90% of attempts, of suicide attempts, do not get completed. I shown you the statistic earlier, right? For every 25 attempts, one person dies. This can be looked at in a different manner as well. That means it is not that easy to kill oneself.
Correct.
What does that mean? This is not a challenge I'm posing to people, but understand that even if your friend is suicidal and is talking about attempting and all, the chances of them actually dying is less. The fact that they are able to talk about this with you, already their chances of dying has gone down. This is a positive, a major positive. The second thing, over 70% of people who attempt suicide and do not die, obviously, they never attempt suicide again. This is also the statistic. Over 70% of people who attempt suicide never attempt it again. So there is some positive that we can take from that too. And finally, also understanding that when those who attempt suicide, they do attempt suicide, over 80% of them show warning signs. That means it is not something that will happen in a silo, that it will not be observed. They will show observable warning sign, over 80% of them. My question is, imagine out of 1,70,000 people that died, over 80% showed warning signs. Imagine people around them, if they knew how to recognize these signs and then knew how to offer help to those people.
So, can you tell us a little about these warning signs?
Right. I mean, when we are talking about warning signs, an important thing to understand is, if a person is saying it out, I want to kill myself, I can't go on anymore. How many of you will take that as a warning sign? Or would you call that a blackmail attempt, attention seeking attempt, weakness, sign of falana, falana, falana? So first and foremost, understanding that nobody just
Says it.
says it for the heck of it. That most of us go out of our way to not have such words in our vocabulary in our day-to-day conversations.
Also, isn't it better that it's okay even if it's a false alarm?
Right.
At least
Now,
attend
the
to
point,
it, because the chances of it being a false alarm are way lower.
Right. So one of my trainees had told me, Sachin, my wife always tells that तुम गहना नहीं दोगे तो मैं suicide करूंगी. Right? If you don't buy me a necklace, I will kill myself. I'm like, okay, you heard necklace? Like, great. Did you not hear suicide? You heard suicide, right? That was the warning sign. You got distracted with the necklace. That is the problem. But they only say this, it never actually happens. Over 26,000 domestic housewives killed themselves in that 1 year. Out of that 1,70,000, one of the biggest demographic of people who died were housewives. It's not that सबकी माँ बोलती है कि मैं मर जाऊंगी. बहुत सारी माएं कर रही हैं. We have not been paying attention is the only problem. Like I said, over 50% of female suicides are underreported. So there is a need for us to understand. So what are these signs? The simplest one are verbal signs. Either the person will directly or indirectly share these signs. What does that mean? They may talk about death, suicide, going away, leaving, all of these. It's coming up. These words are coming up in direct context or indirect. They may even say, if this and this does not happen, then I will do this. right? This is not necessarily a blackmail situation, but more a black and white thinking situation, where if you are a student of psychology, you will identify that this is actually symptomatic.
Yeah.
If a person is doing either this or this, this is not blackmail. The person is essentially saying, I don't see all the 7 colors. All I'm seeing is black or
and
white.
Yeah.
So this is a sign of a mental health issue.
Yes.
But if we call it blackmail, then are you going to offer help? Or would you ostracize the person? You're seeing the challenge? So direct verbal clues, if you hear them, take every warning sign seriously. You don't have to wait such an at least 3 signs they need to give. No such thing. You hear a sign, ask the
Act
question.
upon it.
Ask the question straight away. Hey, do you mean to say you are having suicidal thoughts? And when you're asking this question, be open to hearing a yes. Don't ask to hear a no. Like your friend comes home and you don't want to feed him, you will be like, you're not hungry, no? This is very different from how you may ask them for food.
Yeah.
But over here, you are only asking them, you're not hungry, no? Why? You want the friend to answer in a negative.
Yeah.
So how do we ask for suicide? You're not suicidal, no? It's not how you're supposed to ask. Ask so that the person is able to say a yes. So direct and indirect verbal clues will be important. And also understand that most Indians are bilingual or trilingual. So please look out for what do these words for death and dying and suicide means in your own individual language as well. What are the terms that show suicidal ideation? And if you hear them, ask. Other than verbal clues, we also have behavioral signs where you may see people best clue that you have to look at is if you see a change in their personality, if in the pattern of behaviors that they normally have, if you experience a change in it. So for example, a person who is usually introverted is now giving bad words very openly and shouting here and there. Or opposite, someone extroverted has now started isolating themselves, doesn't show up for the group dinners or stuff like that that you were used to. They could be they may start losing their weight or even gaining weight. Weight is a very, something that shouldn't fluctuate too much. It should maybe within a kilo, 2 kilo up and down.
Yeah.
But if it is without you changing anything about your lifestyle, if your weight starts either going up or down, it's a warning sign. If the person starts, for example, giving valuable things away, for example, like things that are of high emotional value to me, I gave it to you. Why?
It's like I'm winding up. And
it's almost like an account closing as well. Like, oh, I took 500 rupees from Sushant last year, and then out of the blue, I come in and I'm like, Sushant, here's your 500 rupees. And Sushant is like, bro, what is this? I didn't. Oh, yeah, I had taken it from you last year. And I was like, I had forgotten about it. I hadn't. So it's almost this account closing that when I'm going, I don't want to have any debts. I'll go on a Goa trip with my friends when for the past 10 years they have been calling me to come. I never went. But this time I took them all on the trip. I took on the expenses. I gave them expensive booze and everything. Why? When I'm gone, they will remember how good a friend I was. Not the friend who always missed out on those holidays. Right? So a lot of these actions, if the person is behaving differently from someone who didn't believe in God, suddenly is projecting a lot of Sadhguru videos everywhere, or opposite, someone who used to be a cutter into believing in God, suddenly is now thinking about these things. If you observe behaviors like they have started not taking care of their hygiene, very often with mental health issues as well. First, the person stops sleeping, so their sleep is affected. That can result in different signs as well. In addition to this, it's difficult for them to maintain their hygiene as well. So you may see, you may have body odor. They may smell of cigarettes and weed.
Or just least interested in just
just taking care of themselves. Like when you see their outfit, it looks like, wasn't it what you were wearing yesterday? Did you sleep in it and come back today? What is this challenge that the person is having even in changing clothes? Right? So hygiene tends to be one of the few things as well that goes away. So any one of these signs you see, you can ask the question. And when you ask to hear a yes. And when you hear a yes, thank them for sharing that with you. Right? What do you mean, Sachin? They just told me I'm suicidal and they are suicidal and I should say thank you. Yes, consider this. After every suicide, what is everyone telling me? Like if only they had told me once.
Yeah.
They told you now.
Yeah.
Didn't they just tell you? They, like in hindsight, this is going to be excellent, right?
Mhm.
So right now, I'm telling you, they just told you they are suicidal. They at least deserve a thanks.
Yes.
So don't worry about what are the words that I need to say to help the person. Just thanking them for sharing this difficult thing with you. That's brilliant. Tell me more. And can I help you? Just offer yourself. Can I help you? And what is the type of help you can give? Can I go with you to a doctor, to a mental health professional? Will you come with me? You can do some research for them. Like as a person, do I know what a good mental health professional should look like, should charge, and what are the skills that they need to have? And if I'm going through depressive episode myself, how easy is it for me to research and find these people?
To help them with
So
the
if-
resources.
Right. So can you have a referral list that you can research?
Yeah.
And give them, here's a list of the helplines like Ankahi
Yes.
and all of these that we are part of with such. Here are the helplines. Here are some mental health professional. Can I go with you? I'll come with you. Let's go. Right? When your friend were to tell you that I think I have cancer, you offered, na?
Yeah.
Let me come with you to the doctor.
Yes.
Same.
Even if you're in that waiting room,
Right.
let the
All the
person be in therapy,
Yes,
but just
yes.
knowing someone's waiting for me there
Yes.
gives you hope.
Yes. So you can go with them. You can offer them logistical support. Like, okay, you know you don't have 10 lakh rupees to get the surgery for their father done, but maybe you can sponsor 5 sessions, 5 counseling sessions that the person could go through.
So what I'm hearing, Sachin, is ask.
Ask.
Because everybody's need would be different.
Yes.
So just ask.
Do not decide by your own limited experience as to what this has to be.
Yeah.
Let the person share. Let the person tell you. And while you're doing this, also taking care of yourself. Through all of this, understanding that while I am offering my water from my well of compassion, I will need to take water from someone else's well to replenish myself too. And if I'm not doing this, again, burnout. So doing this as a responsible way, not just out of emotional need, but doing it in a rational, emotional way will also ensure that you are not just able to be of help to them today, but in for long term as well. So suicide prevention life skills would be helpful in this.
That's amazing, Sachin.
Thank you.
Thank you for this conversation. And yes, we will be sharing all the helpline numbers,
Yes.
Ankai, the Connect Heart, and people can feel free to. I know your team has an entire resource list, which
Happy to share.
Samriddhi has been.
We
is
have been
already-
freely sharing as much as
Yes,
possible.
yes,
So
yes.
please feel free.
So we will definitely share that with our viewers, listeners today. And it was great having this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you so much
And
for having
like
me.
I always say, more power to you, Sachin. Keep doing the work you do, and I'll keep coming back for the trainings.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. If you or someone you know is dealing with any of the issues that we spoke about in our conversation, please feel free to check the description. We have given all resources that you can reach out and ask for help. Remember, asking for help is a sign of strength. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's okay to say, I need help. To know more about all workshops and trainings that Sachin conducts, we've also put the resources in the description. Thank you for being with us today. Let's talk, let's share, let's heal together.